Would you agree with me that Mr. Thompson came to you after he saw Mr. Cunningham?
Yes.
Just trying to figure out when it happened.
Right.
And you would agree that you signed the PAF that you recall signing sometime in late November 2008?
Yes. And again, this is not a new hire either. Mr. Thompson was accounting for.
He was a county accountant. Right?
No, he's accounting for his transfer.
Okay,
He was already on county payroll.
Does that make it better in your mind?
Well, you don't have to advertise for it in your transfer.
I'm not concerned about advertising. I'm concerned about the appearance of impropriety. Do you have an understanding in your experience working as a county administrator what the term appearance of impropriety means?
I understand about what fair is. It doesn't matter if he's a county council member or not. You got to certainly qualify to work in the purchasing department. He was qualified to work in the assessor's department. He had a master's degree. He had a lot of experience, and he was would be a darn good employee.
And ultimately, you had the final say-so on whether to hire Mr. Thompson, or transfer him, however you want to call it, into a job that's going to pay between $26,000 and $36,000 a year, correct?
Yes.
And you ultimately decided to do that, right?
Back in March or February.
Well, the decision you made was after November 18th.
Now, the decision I made was back in March when I told him I'd give him a job or transfer. That's when that decision was made.
So there was no way you could reverse that decision? Is that what you're saying?
I could have, but I did.
And you didn't. And the day you didn't reverse your decision was after November 18th, 2008, correct?
That week is when I honored my commitment I made to him back in March.
So you signed off on a form that would guarantee that he was hired to a job that would pay him $26,000 to $36,000 a year, right?
Yes.
After he had just voted for your $1.1 million severance agreement, correct?
The two had nothing to do with each other. Yes.
Can you see how outsiders looking at this situation might come to a different conclusion than you do about whether or not one had anything to do with it?
An outsider that doesn't know the facts should.
Do you realize that on the list of jobs, or the list of budget items that are going to be used to fund your severance agreement, it's ironic that a buyer position is included on that list?
I don't know.
So he might have voted, Mr. Thompson might have voted to defund the very job you turned around and tried to get from you.
Entirely possible.
Ultimately, do you know whether he got the job as buyer two in terms of long term?
Well, no, he did not.
Do you know what happened, like how it came to be that he didn't have that job?
Well, Michael became the administrator, and he decided not to honor that.
If you look at exhibit number 31, she's asked if you can identify what this is.
No.
I can see this piece, Mr. Preston. Exhibit number 31, do you recognize what that is?
It's like a request for per diem travel and for coursework and so.
And when you say he, you're talking about Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir, Mike Thompson.
If you look at the second page of exhibit number 31,
Right?
would you agree with me that that's an advance travel request by Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
In other words, he's asking to be paid in advance for something that he wants to do later on, correct?
Yes, sir.
And your signature is on this page, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's dated, tell me if this date is right, but did you sign it on or about November 26, 2008? Let me ask you in a better way, because you know these forms.
With stamp.
Yeah, I'm trying to get at this. Your
I
signature,
signed it. It's one stamp.
do you know what order things happen? Do you sign it first and then it goes to the finance department, or does it go to the finance department first and then you sign it later?
It would have come to the office. I would have signed it. Of course, as a ministerial duty, then it would have gone back down to finance.
Would you have signed it on or after December 1st, 2008?
No.
Pardon me. Well,
No, would not.
and would you agree with me that, bottom line, this reflects that you approved the payment of $2,749.80 to Mr. Thompson as an advance on appraisal courses to be taken after November 26, 2008.
Yes.
In fact, some of those appraisal courses would not be taken until as late as February 1st, 2009.
Right.
And as it turns out, Mr. Thompson wasn't working with the county in any capacity by February of 2009, was he?
Well, you have to understand, my intention was to hire him because I promised him a job in March. So, in my opinion, he was going to be working there from January 1st. And if he had not been working there, then that would be his responsibility, or the county's responsibility, to try to get the money back, maybe, perhaps. You know, but my thoughts were he was going to be working.
If it turned out that Mr. Thompson was no longer affiliated with the county in any way and took some coursework on the county's dime after that time, is it your view, just based on your experience with the county, that he should have paid that money back?
It would depend. I mean, depend on the way the severance would have occurred, perhaps.
105. 57.
Mr. Preston, I would like to now ask you some questions about Ron Wilson.
Yes, sir.
How did you first meet Ron Wilson?
When he got elected to county council, I believe.
Do you remember what year that was?
No, I don't.
Um,
6 years ago.
And was Mr. Wilson one of the ones you mentioned earlier that ran on the platform of firing you?
Maybe we should reword that. He made statements similar to that.
And so I was taking when you first met Mr. Wilson, he was, at least he had indicated to some degree that he was not happy with your performance as county administrator.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that Allison Shaw was Mr. Wilson's daughter
At what point in time?
at any point in time?
I learned it, yes, sir.
When did you learn?
It was right before I had invited some members of the community, Army community, to attend a presentation.
And what kind of presentation?
It was a presentation that she made to several entities that were involved with sustainable farming, the sustainable farming business in Anderson County. Just before that.
And how did you learn that Mr. Shaw was the daughter of Mr. Wilson in connection with that meeting? Apparently someone told you that?
I think I learned it from either the farmer's market manager or his supervisor, who was also at that meeting, so I don't recall which one told me.
And who are those people? Who's the farmer's market manager?
At that time, it was Brandon Grace,
Who was his manager?
Cheryl Rickinson.
Well, did Ms. Shaw make a pitch for a consulting agreement with Anderson County at some point?
I haven't seen, I don't have a copy of that presentation. Do you have one?
Not with me, but I think I've seen it.
I'd like to see that. I think part of that was her analysis of the importance of farming or agriculture to the community and to local businesses and economic development impacts. I remember some of that there too.
You got 32 in front of you, and I'm handing you 33. So, and I think they come in the reverse order the way I've numbered them, but I think 33 comes first in time. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, there's more to it than that.
Okay, what is 33 and what's missing?
It looks like there's other graphics aren't there. Doesn't look like all of it. If I remember correctly.
Well, and it looks to me like 33, which is page number JP 344 through 346, is a 3-page document that is complete in terms of, it appears to have all the pages of this particular document with Ms. Shaw's
Right.
signature block at the end. But it sounds like what you're saying is there may have been some additional information attached to this as well.
I think so.
And what was that additional information? Do you recall generally?
No, I don't recall. There's more to it than this. I had a package. It was a proposal package, I believe. I don't remember exactly what was in it. This is a cover letter.
Okay. Do you recall receiving this cover letter?
I don't know that I got the cover letter directly to me. It might have been part of that proposal that was made over at the Sullivan's restaurant.
And the proposal that Ms. Shaw made then was a proposal made at Sullivan's restaurant?
Yes, in the conference room down there.
Do you recall who the audience was?
Most of them, I think, there were several. It was probably around, I don't know, 10 to 12 individuals that were active in the farming community. I know that Anderson C. Joey remembers him. He was over the county school boards, which are there. Here's the food service director, so he was kind of the go-to guy for the county school board, which that school board manages all 5 of the school districts, their food cafeterias in Anderson County. I think the Farm Bureau was there. I believe we had the Farmers Market Manager there. We had the Community Relations Division Director there. At the time we had, I remember, the Farmers Market Board was represented. There was 2 or 3 of them that were there. The Department of Agriculture was there. I'm just trying to sit, there's a round table, I'm trying to remember it all.
Well, let me ask this.
We had also, I had represented there, I think it had like an Anderson Restaurant Association or something. They had like I'm not sure if it was, I think it was either Kate or Val, who were like in charge of that on the local downtown restaurant. So there were several people there.
But the presentation itself was actually made by Ms. Shaw?
Yes, I think Department of Agriculture had something to do there too. They were there to watch the presentation, and they came in with their spiel about how the state was moving towards this big marketing program to try to promote sustainable agriculture.
Let me direct your attention to Exhibit 32, if I might.
Yes.
Ask you what that is.
It's an agreement between Anderson County and Palmetto Ag Consultants.
And what's the date of that agreement?
It says dated September the 4th.
Is that your signature on the first page of Exhibit 32?
Yes, I believe it is.
Did you sign this agreement on behalf of Anderson County?
Yes. Yes.
Would you agree with me that you, as Anderson County Administrator, had the authority to sign this contract on behalf of Anderson County?
Yes.
And did you have the authority to reject this proposed contract prior to signing?
Yes.
So ultimately, you made the decision to enter this agreement with Ms. Shawn's company, correct?
At the advice of this working committee and the Farmers Market Board and advice from the Department of Agriculture, yes.
You thought it was a good idea to hire her firm.
Absolutely.
And did she have any experience in the agriculture industry that you knew of?
Well, she had experience working with an organization which is kind of the guru of sustainable agriculture in North and South Carolina, which is the Carolina Farm Stewardship Association, which is really about the only entity in North and South Carolina that is involved in this type of thing.
In the agreement itself, which is exhibit number 32, is there an attached appendix?
Yes.
Does that outline some of the terms of the agreement?
Yes.
Does it include a rate of $65 an hour payable to Ms. Shawn's company for work done pursuant to the agreement?
Yes, which it says.
How did you settle on a $65 an hour rate?
I don't remember. I remember her proposing a rate, and she wanted, I think that she wanted health insurance too. I explained to her that we could not provide health insurance to a private contractor. I don't know if this is modified to show the health insurance number or not. I can't recall.
So in other words, if she's not an employee of the county, the county is not providing health insurance for her.
Right.
Exhibit 33, was that an initial proposal? And I know it's not complete, you said there were attachments to it, but is that an initial proposal as made by Ms. Shawn?
It's a proposal, but it doesn't look like it's complete. remember it being more than, these 3 pages.
If you look at the third page of Exhibit 33, the second to last paragraph,
Right.
it includes an agreed upon hourly rate for services performed on this proposal is $20.
Right. That ties back into what I just told you.
So is that what Ms. Shaw was originally proposing, was $20 an hour?
And she wanted, when she sent that, I remember having a conversation with her, she thought she would sign up for county health insurance benefits.
And so, help me out here, but the difference between $20 an hour and $65 an hour strikes me as far in excess of what one needs to pay for health insurance.
I don't know. I think what she did is, for $20 an hour, there were a lot of things that she really wasn't, including in with that. I remember her saying, "This I can't do this. I can't do this work for $20 an hour." I told her to give me a proposal that shows me what a fair rate would be in order to get the work out of her to develop these programs.
Exhibit 33 that we just looked at, that was a proposal made by Ms. Shaw, correct? It wasn't made by the county, in other words.
Right.
And in it, she's the one who put the $20 an hour figure, right?
Right.
And then somehow, the figure in the contract, Exhibit 32, ends up being $65 an hour.
So we negotiated.
So it's pretty good negotiation for someone who asked for $20 an hour, you end up giving her $65 an hour, more than she asked.
Not necessarily. When we discussed going through these negotiations or talking with her about this and talking with the county staff and realizing what we wanted to do here, that's where they ended up, was at $65 an hour.
And would you agree you were the person ultimately with the approval authority over the rate to be agreed upon by the county?
Yeah, mind you, that what I did here was based on a recommendation too from this working committee that I had in place that she worked with.
Would you agree that Exhibit number 32, the contract with Allison Shaw's company dated September 4th, 2007, includes no provision for any payout to her company if she is terminated by the county?
Yes, sir.
And why was that?
I want you to put it in there.
And did you offer to give her a termination provision?
No.
And Ms. Shawn's company started working for the county, would you agree sometime on or after September 4th, 2007, pursuant to this agreement?
Yes.
Exhibit number 32?
Right.
Let's show you what's marked as Exhibit 34. You recognize Exhibit 34?
It's an unsigned copy of the amended contract.
And I'm going to give you now Exhibit 35 as well. Because it may be that you'll want to see them both together, but
Sure.
tell me what Exhibit 35 is.
Which, Exhibit 35?
Right, what is that?
Signed contract.
All right, so Exhibit 35, would you agree with me, is a signed contract between Palmetto Agricultural Consultants and Anderson County?
It's an amended contract with this right here.
When you say amended contract, what do you mean?
Well, it's a continuation. This is a month-to-month contract. That's a month.
When you say this, you mean Exhibit 32?
Yeah.
Let me start with a new question. Exhibit 35, would you agree with me that that's a contract between Anderson County and Palmetto
Yes.
Agricultural
Right.
Consultants?
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree that it's dated November 1st, 2008?
Right.
Any reason to think you signed it at a date different than November 1st, 2008?
No.
So November 1st, 2008 is a period of time in which your severance agreement with Anderson County is being negotiated by the Personnel Committee, correct?
Yeah.
And Ron Wilson, the father of Allison Shaw, is the chair of the Personnel Committee, right?
Yes.
This contract, Exhibit 35, was first presented to you by Ms. Shaw, was it not? A draft proposal for this contract?
I'm talking about
Yeah,
this.
look at exhibit 34.
Yeah. Okay, yes, sir.
Would you agree with me, I mean, let me ask it this way, I guess. Who had the idea that a new contract should be entered with Palmetto Agricultural Consultants in 2008?
She and I talked about this before that was ever done, because that was a month-to-month contract, and you know, this was a new program that was getting started. This particular program was. But you need to understand something too, that the sustainable agriculture thing, the farmers market, you had to go back to 1998. I mean, the county council back in 98, 99 voted to go ahead and to build a brand new farmers market and to really focus and to start to work with farmers in the community. So that, you know, that was over a period of time. And I think we went through 3 different farmers market managers over that period of time. A couple of part-time guys that came in, got that operation organized, and then as a result of that, there was a demand from the farmers to try to expand the markets out there a little bit. So it was a hot topic too back in the mid 2000s. So she came along and brought her company and wanted to make a proposal, and I brought the right people together to hear that proposal and to hear what she was talking about. And you know, I agreed to a month to see if it would work. And over that period of a year, it was successful. It was the only one that I knew of in South Carolina that had all the right components to it, you know, for developing a sustainable agriculture program, and actually became a model across the state that it's completely canned now. I remember several counties down the lower part of the state that were contacting our farmers market manager to see exactly what we were doing and how we were doing it. So month to month, and during this month-to-month this year, she worked hard. She didn't work as much as we wanted her to work. We wanted her to work more, but she worked hard. She did a lot of good things in the community. You know, she coordinated 2 very successful conferences in our county, which were unheard of. She helped raise money to put those conferences on, and she wrote several grants and developed several contracts that was a new thing to these schools, and then got the idea out there to local businesses and restaurants. So she went way above and beyond. Had a great working relationship with my county staff. The farmers market manager wanted her more hours.
Was there anything about exhibit number 32, that contract with Allison Shaw's company, that would have prevented her from working more hours, like the farmers market people wanted her to work?
No, she wanted to. You know, she